and thank you so much for tuning back to Urban Tropical. If you remember, I had two Ensetes. One I stored in the loft, which is this one right here, and the other one I dug up a bit later in the year, somewhere in December, and I stored it in my home, temperatures 21 degrees Celsius, and that's this one. It was really big, and I didn't want to store it in the loft. I wanted to see in case loft ones doesn't survive, because it was my really first time for the loft storage. The only wrong thing I did with the loft one was I did dug up quite earlier, which was not the cool thing to do. The best thing is it's about to frost. It's about, if you're expecting frost, you say, yeah, now is the time to dig up because we're going to have minus temperatures. So the loft one has lost a lot of its weight. One, prolonged period of storage. Actually, that's the number one reason, to be honest. And it's not really looking firm, but at the same time it's not rotten either. So it's been a week since I have taken it out of the loft and I have put it into the compost. I'm going to give it really little water at a time so that it can start to come out of dormancy and start to grow new roots. In terms of the temperature, my loft has maybe 1 or 2 degrees less than outside temperature. Of course, it's frost free. That's the only protection this plant has, not the temperature protection. This one was really well protected, 20-21 degrees on average. That means it was in a really good scenario. Of course, it's not going to grow. One, it has no light. It was in a dark cupboard. Second, Ensetes go into dormancy due to lack of water. So if I don't give it water, it's not going to grow anything. So that's why we start to pot it up and we give it little water at a time so it can start to create new roots. Then the question is, do I use compost or do I use topsoil? I did try to use compost for this one because it's so heavy and you just put it on top of your pot. It kept on collapsing. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to use compost, I'm going to use topsoil. What's the actually problems using topsoil? Topsoil is really heavy. It can retain moisture for a really long time. At the same time, you could say that it has less aeration, but I don't experience that. It has a lot of sand mix in it. That means there is always aeration. But if you do end up using topsoil, I will highly recommend your water should be far less if it was compost. So I give it extremely little water at a time. On top, I have put it in a basket. It has no drainage holes at the bottom. Because I'm giving it so little water, I don't have to worry about water gathering at the bottom and causing this drought because it will not have that much water. Now I'm going to show you what's happening to the old roots, which you're not supposed to really keep, or even if you keep, you think is pointless. So I am using those roots as anchoring because this is quite big. It kept on collapsing. So once the roots are in the topsoil, they're keeping the plant down, and you will be surprised to see what I'm going to show you now. So this is in a basket which has no drainage, as I said. I might repot it. I am contemplating just in case. I am sure I'm not going to kill it with overwatering. Okay, so if I just take this one out. So I have put it this much into the topsoil. I have used these roots to anchor it down. Now the question is, if these roots are useless, they will eventually dissolve into my soil, but that's not what's happening. So some of the old roots, they are growing new roots. This one, for example, this is an old root which we are supposed to say, okay, it's just not gonna do anything and it's going to develop new roots, but it's using these old roots to grow new one here and here. Actually, the reason I'm so excited, I have never seen Ensete, not that I have never seen Ensete, I have never seen Ensete surviving. So this time it's like a change for me. It just sounds really good that I can have my old Ensete doing really well in this coming summer. So I am planning to take it out as soon as I know the frost is gone, which I'm expecting really end of March. That means in April I'm going to bring this plant out, and I'm really excited for it. I really hope that your Ensete has survived, and maybe it is the right temperature for you to start to break its dormancy. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you later. Bye bye.